Happy Father's Day to the fathers and the stepfathers. This audio, is actually dedicated to you guys. I wanted to express my gratitude to my king, my husband, my children's stepfather, who we've been together for probably 17 years, I believe. And I wanted to say I love you. Thank you. I was lucky. And I appreciate what you did with help raising our two lovely, intelligent black children. Only reason why I'm not going to say this is the only reason, but, a few days ago, I expressed my gratitude to my husband. And the thing is, he is my children's stepfather. And I was watching a show on YouTube. I think some guy, I hate that I can't remember the guy's YouTube channel, some lawyer cat, and he had a group of men on talking about fathers and stepfathers on Father's Day. And it was an 8-hour show. I did not sit there and watch it for 8 hours, but some of the show I did catch. And, the conversation was very interesting. I was fortunate, I was very lucky to meet someone who helped me raise my children, and we both are we did a wonderful job. Let me just say like this. I was very skeptic at first, but I needed to choose someone, a surrogate. I was not going to bring any man in my children's life who wasn't going to be able to be a father to them, because I knew my children's father wasn't going to be there. And the thing is, and it's not that he couldn't, he was in a relationship, he's married, and he has 2 children by his wife. So he's obligated to that situation, and that was understood. So with my 2 children, of course, I filed child support. Every dime of the child support money went to my babies. And because I was obligated and I had a responsibility to take care of them. And that's what I did. I made a sacrifice. I didn't work for a period of time. Yes, I was on assistant for a period of time. And because I wanted to groom my children first. And that's just how I think. I wanted them to be intelligent. I wanted them to be more free in thought. And that's what I did. Now, Abdul came in later, like maybe a couple of years later. We were friends before we decided to be in a relationship. And my deal was he had already met my children before, we decided to be in a relationship. And I saw how he was. He was very gentle, very loving, and he understood my situation. He was skeptic at first, but because we're all oil and water, I knew I wasn't the type of woman to be with him. I'm the type of woman I like to, when I deal with men, I respectfully deal with them with respect, because I had a grandfather and I loved him very dearly, and how I deal with men is always in a loving way. And when I say that, I'm not talking about being sexual. No, I just like to treat men in a respectful way, because they don't get that from anybody else. They don't get that sometimes from their own women. They don't, and not to say, but it depends. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me. That won't happen. You could be disrespectful, but I'm not going to stand there and listen. That's the point I'm making. But at the end of the day, when me and Abdul met, it was on the internet, we was chatting it up, speaking it up, and I had these 2 kids. We met, and everything was cool and peace. So, but as time went on, he's from the East Coast. I'm from Texas, from Houston, Texas, and I have a different way of thinking. My method and the way I raised my children, and I learned from my oldest son. My oldest son had a stepdad for about 5 years, and that situation did not work out. So, of course, I was a bit skeptic about bringing men into my children's life after I had him. And I'm gonna tell you something. The decisions that was made in our relationship had to be understood before he came and say, okay, we're gonna be together. He already knew what my intentions were. He already knew how I wanted to raise my kids. He already knew I was atheistic. So, even though he dealt with metaphysics in the sense of spirituality, I was different. We both were oil and water. It's like, how to communicate with each other was off, because I felt like he really did not understand what I was saying. And it's not, he just thought his way of thinking was different from mine, because I don't think he quite met a woman like me. I absolutely believe that. I'm just different. How I deal with men and women is just different. Some people would say I have masculine qualities, but I'm attracted to men. So, and that's just the way it is. And when I had more male friends than female friends. And I'm telling you, right to this day, I cannot call one female friend up. I don't have any male friends other than my husband, but that's the point I'm making, But anyway, I want to express my thanks, my gratitude, my love to this man, because he helped me raise these children to be very accountable, responsible, smart, intelligent. He spoiled them just as much as I did. And he, because I know I could be an empty shell sometimes. I know. And and, it's funny, me and my children was talking about how I am, and maybe that's because of my upbringing, because, I did have shitty parents. And then when I say shitty, because my parents were, one was on drugs, both were on drugs and alcohol. And the 70s kind of did a number on a lot of kids. A lot of our parents was intoxicated a lot of time and left us unattended. So, thank goodness I had a grandfather who was a very loving man, and he, he was there to protect us, whenever my parents were not there. Both of mine, and it's crazy, my parents were married, they was just on some other shit, and at times you got to understand, and I'm fortunate, my sister is not lucky. My brother passed away at 42, and it's, when I think about that, it was just the three of us, and we had parents, but our parents were, they were not in the place where, or had the mindset to raise children. That's just the reality. And a lot of children are in this predicament. And a lot of people don't understand that when you're in a relationship with a person, you have babies with a person, you don't understand how that shit affects a child as they grow up. And I don't know how in the world I made it through to this point of being a 50-year-old woman, with with two children in college. One is heading to college. He just graduated. My daughter is in community college she's going to try for nursing, and my son is headed to Texas A&M. So, and when my children's father came down, and he haven't seen them probably like a year or so because of the whole COVID thing. And the thing is, and he texted me and he was like, wow, I appreciate what you did for the kids, because they really, turned out great, and I'm kind of plagiarizing. I kind of don't remember what the text, I just know he appreciated, because, brother is heading to the school he wanted to go, which is Texas A&M, for astrophysics. So, and I'm proud of my son. I allow him to do things that, to make the decisions for himself as far as his his education, because he was always, from the time he was in the 5th grade, he was always a big advocate for the things he wanted to learn and the things he enjoyed, and I I nurtured that We all did. My husband and I, we nurtured the fact that brother was this way. But we also had to encourage him, because when he was younger, he used to have these meltdowns and tantrums but it was social behavior issues. And a lot of parents don't recognize that in their children. And we were fortunate enough, someone told us to look up, these, what you call Asperger's. And Shem, he may be on the spectrum. We don't know. I never got him diagnosed. But when we read that list, we was like, yo, this is all him. You know what I'm saying? And we were fortunate enough. I had to tell him every day before he went to school, hey, son, have a beautiful day. If you have a meltdown, or if you get sad, or someone make you upset, this is what you need to do. And I discussed it with his teachers, his principal. Hey, call me whenever something goes down. Same with my daughter. Call me whenever. I always made sure once they got into grade school, I had a job where when they went to school, I went to work. By the time they got off, I was coming home and I was there to greet them. So, and that's how I wanted. Now, when they got into middle school, I had to switch up. I needed more money. I moved back to Houston, and me and my husband, we were saving up our money. We needed to do things because things didn't work out the way we wanted in North Carolina. So here we are back in Houston. And my point is, happy Father's Day to my husband. A lot of gratitude. I appreciate what he did. And my children appreciate what he spoils them more than I do sometimes. No, more than I do, period. And I love the fact that he took the time to, even though he felt like, he was out working all the time, but he doesn't realize his presence was felt in our home. My children knew who their biological father was. And I'm going to tell you, with most kids, when they don't see their dad, it affects them. But my children, it did not affect them one single bit. When my son was like, I'm not going to Florida this year. I want to get a job. That boy got a job at 15. I want to get my driver's license. He's got his driver's license when he was 16. He got his driver's license and a job. So he did, and I'm going to tell you something. He did that shit all on his own. My son did that all on his own. I didn't have to help him. I just made sure what he wanted, I would provide it. We provided for him. So we encouraged him. We made sure he did whatever he needed to do in order to reach his goal. And we're not rich people. No, we're not. We work our butt off. We save our money. We live frugally. We go out. We have these family dinners because this is what family's supposed to do. Happy Father's Day, Abby. Happy Father's Day, baby. Happy Father's Day. I love you. And with a lot of gratitude, I appreciate what you did. You stuck in there, even though we're like oil and water. We don't fit, but we made it work for 17 years. We made it work. And now our children are off. And, we're about to do our thing. We're getting up there. I'm 50. He's getting close to 50. And, we're still trying to figure it out. But the most important thing is that, we look at brother and sister and we're like, damn, we did this. They are really in a good place. And we're hoping that, I'm hoping in the future that my children live a long life. I'm hoping I live long enough to see them have children, to see my grandkids. And I'm hoping for that. But anyway, to the stepfathers out there, happy Father's Days. To the fathers out there who are being responsible and being stepdads, happy Father's Day to you guys. You guys did a beautiful job raising children. I'm not talking about the bad ones. I'm talking about the ones who did their damn thing, helping women raise their children, and peace, love, happiness, cheers, and happy Father's Day. From Kessa K, your resident atheist. Peace.